हरिओम। चांड शांति मंत्र। ओम वांग में मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो में वाची प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य माणिस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ओम शांति शांति शांति। So ओम आत्मा व इदमेक एवाग्रासित न अन्यत किंचन मिशत. Atma alone was there in the beginning. Before this world came into being with variety of names and forms, Atma alone was there. And even now, even when we see all this variety, Atma alone is there. That Atma alone has become this world. And after becoming this world, has entered this world as the Jiva and experiencing this world from within. So as Ishvara experiences the world as though within himself, and as Jiva we experience the world as though it is outside. And a rare few comes to recognize the real nature of the self. Like the story of Vamdeva is given here, who realized the self remaining in the mother's womb itself. If we don't realize the self, we are born again and again. So this is the story of our life. Now Vamadeva recognized the self, the real nature of the self. So what is the real nature of the self? And how can we recognize it? That is being now said in the 3rd chapter, section 1. So let us chant. कोयमात्मेति वयम् उपास्महे कतरस्स आत्मा येन वा पश्यति येन वा शृणोति येन वा गन्धान् आजिघ्रति येन वा वाचं व्याकरोति येन वा स्वादु च विजानाति को अयम आत्मा इति वयम उपास्महे. So all the students, as though are sitting and contemplating, asking each other, who is this Atma? Ko ayam Atma iti vayam upasmaye, which we are worshipping. Who is this Atma which we are worshipping. Upasmahi, upasna. And Katarasa Atma, which one is the Atma? Of the two, which one is the Atma? So here is the inquiry done by some student, and it was said that Vamadeva realized that self which is most worshipful. So the question is, which is this self which is most worshipful? And it was also said that Ishvara created this body, and then all these devatas entered the different sense organs. They are the devatas, the presiding deities of the various sense organs. So the prana, along with all these other devatas and all, they entered the body. And then Ishvara, he entered from the top opening, that Vidruti, and he entered. So the question is, which one is the Atma, those senses or the devatas, or this Ishvara who has entered? Which is the self? Which is the most worshipful? So that is the question. And then they ask this question, ki ena va pashyati, is it that by which we see this world through our senses, our eyes? So is the Atma the one through which we see? Ena va pashyati. Ena va shrunoti. Is the Atma the one by which we hear? Ena va gandhan ajhigrati. Or is the Atma the one by which one smells the fragrance? Yena va vacham vyakaroti. Or is it that the Atma is the one through which we speak, by which one speaks? Yena va swadu cha aswadu cha vijanati. Or is it that the Atma is the one by which we come to gain the good as well as the bad taste? Swadu. Swadu means good, tasty. And aswadu, not so tasty. So this is like a inquiry. So one has to inquire, who is this I? Who is this self? What is the nature of the self? That inquiry is the beginning of our spiritual journey. The self can be recognized by proper inquiry, with the guidance and support of the scriptures. See, we perform karma, we do different types of upasana. They are just preparation. Through karma itself, one cannot gain knowledge. It is just a preparation. So with the help of taking the support of our body, mind, senses, we perform karma. So just by performing a lot of karma, we will not be able to know who am I. But it helps us to purify the mind if it is performed with a proper attitude. Then there are upasanas, wherein we worship, imagining that Supreme Ishvara in different forms or with different names. One worships that Ishvara. But worship or upasana also helps to purify the mind. But upasana itself will not give us knowledge. So both of them are action only. Karma is also action. Upasana is also action at a subtler level. So by action, we will not be able to recognize that self. But action is required for preparing ourselves to gain that knowledge. We can, through this action and upasana, we can equip ourselves with the qualities like Vivek, Vairagya, Shamdhamadi, Shatsampanti, Mumukshutvam and all. So that truth can be comprehended through vichar. Chittasya shuddhaye karma natu vastupalabdhaye. Vastupalabdhi vicharena na kinchit karma kotibihi. In Vivek Chodamani it is said that we can purify our mind with karma, but to gain that knowledge of the self, we need vichar, chintan, with the intellect. With the help of the intellect, we think. But we should take support of the scriptures to think, because thinking can take us anywhere. Thinking has got no direction. It can lead one to anywhere. They're like the clouds. Where the clouds will move, we don't know. So where the thinking will take us, we don't know. And that's what is happening. Everyone is like a free thinker. Many people. Free thinkers are the most dangerous people. What they will think, when, how, nobody can guess. But the self is not the product of thinking. It is said in one of the Upanishad that Naisha tarkena matirapaneya. Through tarka, one cannot understand the Supreme. So it's like a paradox. By thinking, we cannot understand it. But thinking is also required. So thinking has to be done by taking support of the scriptural text. It will help us to remove all our misunderstanding. So the question is, which is the Atma? Katarassa Atma. Which one is the Atma? That by which we see, hear, taste, touch, speak. Is that the Atma? Or is it that which is seeing, hearing, tasting, touching through this? That is the question. So now the scripture then gives the reply, says the next mantra. Yadetat hridayam manashchaitat sanjnanam ajnanam vijnanam prajnanam medha drishtihi dhritihi matihi Manisha, Jyotihi, Smritihi, Sankalpaha, Kratuhu, Asuhu, Kamaha, Vashaiti, Sarvani eva etani prajnanasya Namadhyayani bhavanti. Now it is said, ki yad etad hridayam. This, that which was said as hriday. It was said that the heart, the hriday, and it is the abode of even the mind and all rest there. Manaha cha etad, mind also rest. And we had seen that this is one of the place where Ishvara resides. In the deep sleep state, It is the Hridayam in which Ishvara, he resides. So it is Ishvara alone who is there in the Hridaya and who is expressing through the mind, and he alone is expressing through the various expressions of the mind and the intellect, like Satjnanam, Ajnanam, Vijnanam, all this. Iti sarvani eva etani prajnanasya namadhyayani bhavanti. All these are different names or different expression of that one prajna, of that one Ishvara, who is of the nature of prajna. Prajna, in English we translate it as consciousness, the knowing principle. Prajnanasya namadhyayani bhavanti. These are the various names or expressions of this prajna. These expressions are mentioned here as Sanjnanam. Sanjnanam means that what you call a perception, Chetana, perception, Chetana Bhava. Then Ajnanam. Ajnanam is to give Ajna, to give direction or injunction, Ajna. This is also one of the expression of the mind, of the prajna, to give Ajna. Then Vijnana. Vijnana is knowledge of various sciences, arts, knowledge, Vijnana. Then Prajnana. This is also intelligence, Prajnanam, intelligence. Then Medha. Medha is ability to understand, grasp a subject. It's called Medha. Then Drishti. Drishti is a sight or seeing, perception through the senses, to make the object available through the senses, drishti. Then dhriti. Dhriti is dharana shakti, perseverance, fortitude, dhriti. Then mati. Mati means to think, thinking. Thinking is called mati. And manisha means ability to think freely, free thinking. Manisha. Swatantriyam, free thinking. Manisha. Then Jyoti. Jyoti is sorrow caused by some disease and all. Sorrow in the chitta caused by some disease, etc. It's called Jyoti. Then Smriti. Smriti is memory, Smaran. Then Sankalpa. Sankalpa is Nishchay, like decision. Sankalpa. Then or imagination. Sankalpa also means imagination. Then Kratu. Kratu is resolve. Adhyavasai it is called resolve, decision to decide. Then asu. Asu is the the activity of living, breathing, etc. It's called asu. Kama. Kama is desire. Then vasha. Vasha also means desire. Desire for pleasure, etc. So these are the various expression of one prajna, that consciousness itself expresses as these various thoughts and various emotions in our mind, our intellect. Prajna. Prajnanasya namadhyayani bhavanti. These are the various names. So this prajna which we are talking about, in the next words it will be said, this prajna has to be recognized as Atma, as the supreme reality. So let us try to understand this. Let us do a little bit of thinking. What exactly is this prajna? For this we will just think about our experiences, the Jagrat, the Swapna, and the Sushupti Avastha. In the Jagrat Avastha, we experience this world with the help of our body, mind, senses, etc. In the dream Avastha, we are not identified with the body, but only with the mind. And the mind, whatever world is projected, that is experience. That is also experience with the help of the mind, with the help of the intellect, with the help of the senses. We experience the dream world. In the dream also we have senses experiencing the world. Then we go into deep sleep state. In that deep sleep state, I totally disconnect with the upadhis. There is no connection with the body. There is no connection with the mind. There is no connection with the senses, nor with the intellect. Therefore, the vyapar, this you understand, huh? Therefore, the vyapar, the transaction of knowing, is not happening. But the knower is there. For example, I am a writer. Then, if I have to write, I take the help of the pen. Pen is required for me to write. Pen is the instrument through which I write. But if I don't have pen, I cannot write. I cannot do the vyapar transaction of writing. But that doesn't mean I am not a writer. I am still a writer. You understand? Similarly, in deep sleep state, I, the self, is still a knower, is an enjoyer, is that pure consciousness as a knower, nepti matra. But since there is no connection with the body, I cannot do anything. There is no connection with the senses, so I don't perceive anything. There is no connection with the mind, so I don't feel anything. There is no connection with the buddhi, therefore I don't think anything. But I am there. The perceiver, knower, thinker is there in deep sleep state. So that is that Atma, that pure, that self, in that as a kshetrajna, as a drashta, as a kshetrajna, as a sakshi, of my body, mind, intellect, and all the three states of experience is the Sakshi. It's called Kshetrajna. The Kshetrajna is there in the deep sleep state, and in the waking and dream just as uses the upadhis to experience the waking and dream. But in the deep sleep state, he keeps the upadhi down. It's like you are using some mobile. Let us say this is your mobile. This is not a mobile, but so you use it in full volume and all. Like in the waking state, everyone comes to know that you are using it. Then you put it in silence, but still it is there. Slowly you send message at home. I am in the pravachan. Don't disturb. So internally all these things are happening and nobody comes to know. So this is like dream. But then I switch it off. This is like deep sleep state. But I am that Atma. I am the Kshetrajna. I am that Ishvara in the body. It's called Kshetrajna. That Ishvara in the body is called Kshetrajna. So I have switched it off in deep sleep state. I switch it on in the waking and dream. But without me, that instrument is useless. It cannot function. So our buddhi functions because that prajna gives it the reflection of that consciousness is there in buddhi. Therefore, buddhi functions. The reflection of consciousness is there in mind. Mind functions. It is like the sun, which is of the nature of light. And we have let us say I have a mirror. So I take the light of that sun on the mirror and put it on the wall, that light. So when I cover that mirror, I don't show that mirror to the sun, I cover that mirror. That time also sun is of the nature of light. And when I show that to the sun, that time also sun is of the nature of light. The light of the sun falls on the mirror, and the mirror also appears to have become of the nature of light. And with that, I illumine the walls. So that Atma, it's called Prajna, that Prajna, or Kshetrajna, or Ishvara seated in our heart. Ishvara at the cosmic level, he controls the Maya. He is the one who is controlling the Prakriti. He can control that Prakriti. In Gita, Bhagavan says, Prakriti is my Prakriti. These are my Apara Prakriti, Para Prakriti, these are my Prakriti. By my order only the Prakriti functions. Maya adhyakshena Prakriti suyate sacharacharam. By my permission only the Prakriti does. Same Ishvara is in our heart. So he can use this Prakriti also to function. So with the help of the buddhi, Ishvara thinks or I think. Ishvara as I think. Through the mind, Ishvara as I feel. So the body, mind, intellect is also Prakriti. Cosmic level also Prakriti. So Ishvara, who is the controller of the Prakriti, becomes the creator, sustainer and the dissolver of the world with the help of the Prakriti. Same Ishvara in our heart becomes the waker, sleeper, dreamer with the help of this upadhis. So that prajna, that Ishvara, is of the nature of knowledge. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. That is its nature. Satyam is doesn't change. Even when the upadhis are there, it doesn't change the nature of that prajna. So it's satyam, it's jnanam. Even when body, mind, intellect and all are not there, still I am of the nature of jnana only. Therefore, when I wake up, identifying with the body, again I say, yes, I slept very well. I remember. I say, yes, I slept very well. I did not know anything. So that prajna, which is there in that pure form means delinked from the upadhis. Delinked from the upadhis, it is there in the deep sleep state. But linked with the upadhis, it is there in the waking and dream. So that prajna, when it functions through the mind, the intellect, it functions as all these various, sometimes vijnanam, prajnanam, medha, drishtihi, dhrutihi, matihi, manisha, jyoti, smriti, sankalpa, kratuhu, asuhu, kamaha, vashaha, iti. All these are the various expressions of the one only. This is just a few of them are mentioned here, but thousands of them are all expressions of one, that consciousness. Consciousness or that prajna expressing through a particular emotion, we call it kamaha. Through some other thought process, it is called manisha. Through some other thought, it is called dhruti. But it is one, that prajna alone, which is expressing through all this variety of thoughts. So, sarvani eva etani prajnanasya namadhyayani bhavanti. These are the various names of this prajna. So we have reached till prajna. We have reached till prajna. We have not reached Brahma yet. We have reached till prajna. If you understand this prajna, then it is a big step. So now the last step. Esha Brahma, Esha Indra, Esha Prajapatihi, Ete Sarve Devaha, Imani cha Pancha Mahabhutani, Prithvi, Vayuhu, Akashaha, Apaha, Jyotinshi, Ittetani imani cha Kshudram, Kshudramishraniva, Kshudramishraniva, Bijani, Itarani, Chetarani, Chandajani cha, Jarujani cha, Svedajani cha, Udbijani cha, Ashva, Gavaha, Purushaha, Hastino, Yatkinchidedam, Prani, Jangamam cha, Patatri cha, Yachastavaram, Sarvam tat prajnanetram, Prajnane pratishtitam, Prajnanetro lokaha, Prajna pratishtita, Prajna pratishtha, Prajnanam Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma. This Prajnanam Brahma is a Mahavakya. big Mahavakya. We have these 4 Mahavakya representing the 4 Vedas, like Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Ayam Atma Brahma, and Prajnanam Brahma. So this is the Prajnanam Brahma Mahavakya. So the other this is from the Rig Veda. Tattvamasi is from Samaveda, Chandogya Upanishad. Then Ayam Atma Brahma is from Mandukya Upanishad, Atharva Veda. And Aham Brahmasmi is in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yajur Veda. So Prajnanam Brahma, this prajna, which everyone experiences, it's not something esoteric. All of us, every day, every moment, we are experiencing this prajna. In deep sleep state, we experience it in pure form. Pure in the sense, untouched by the upadhis. In the waking and dream, we experience it along with the upadhis. The upadhis are also the expressions of that Ishvara, his Prakriti, and this Prajna is that Ishvara himself experiencing the Prakriti as an individual. So this Prajna, which is the seer of all the waking, dream and deep sleep state, which is expressing through the mind, the intellect as the knower, as the seer, as the perceiver, etc. This Prajna, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Rupa, this Prajna is that Brahma, that which is indicated as Brahma in the scriptures, that which is beyond the comprehension of the body, mind, intellect, that which is only revealed in the Upanishads. That Brahma is the Swarupa of this Prajna, is the Swarup of this Prajna. Just as suppose you are seeing an ornament, so ring or a bangle, but it is made up of gold. So when I am seeing that bangle, I am only seeing the form and the name. Suppose I don't know the nature, swarup of that bangle. Then somebody tells me that this gold, this bangle is made up of gold. So gold is the swarup. Gold is the swarup. But the vyavahar of the bangle, vyavahar is done with the bangle. We wear the bangle. The transaction is done with bangle, with necklace, with ring, with various ornaments. Vyavahar is done. Gold by itself, without this name and form, is avyavaharyam. There is no vyavahar. But when it is expressed as all these ornaments, then we can wear it, we can use it. You understand? Vyavahar happens. Similarly, that Brahma is avyavaharyam. He doesn't do any vyavahar. He is beyond everything. But that same Brahma, along with the upadhis, appears to be doing vyavahar as pradnya, as pradnya. So this pradnya we experience. We don't experience Brahma, we are experiencing pradnya. It is everyone's aparoksha anubhuti. Every one of us, we experience pradnya. We don't have to take it on faith. All of us, we experience that deep sleep state wherein we were free from the upadhis. We were not touched by the body, mind, intellect, but we existed. I was existing in deep sleep state, but I was not touched by the upadhis. But when I wake up, I use the upadhi. I see through my eyes, I think through my mind, so I get connected to the upadhis. This is also not a problem. To get connected with the upadhis, like a realized master is also connected to the upadhis. He also sees through his senses, thinks through his mind, feels through his mind and all. Problem is when we think this upadhi is I. That's called adhyas. When we superimpose the nature of that prajna on the upadhis and the nature of the upadhis on the prajna, that is called adhyas. It's called anyonya adhyas. The nature of the upadhis we superimpose on prajna. In the sense, for example, when we are in deep sleep state, I experience my own existence. I experience bliss, that is my nature. But when I wake up, I think the bliss is in the object. That is called superimposing the happiness of the self on the object. I also think I am a man, I am a woman, I am a doctor, I am a lawyer. So I superimpose the self-I on these upadhis. So the dharma as well as the dharmi is superimposed on the upadhis. Again, in the reverse order, the nature of this buddhi, etc., is superimposed on this prajna. When the buddhi is thinking, I identify with it and I say, I am thinking. So there is this mutual superimposition which has happened, which is the cause of our bondage, which is the cause of sorrow. First step is to understand that this prajna is different from these upadhis. Second step is to understand this prajna, its real nature is that Brahma. This might become little complicated, but you have to think. I think that is, so that is been said here, कि prajnanam Brahma. What is this prajna? Is it only in my body and I am the seer through this body? He says, no, this prajna, which is Ishvara alone, is everywhere and everything. Because it was said before that Ishvara alone entered each and every being. So, this prajna is Ishvara residing in our heart. In Gita, Bhagavan says, I am residing in everyone's heart. Kshetrajnam chapi mam viddhi sarvakshetreshu bharata. So this prajna is there in Brahma. Here Brahma is not that Brahma, Supreme Brahma, but here is Brahma, Brahmaji, the creator, the Hiranyagarbha. The Hiranyagarbha also is this prajna. Then Esha Indra, Indra, one of the devatas, or Indra, the realized person who is called Indra, he is also that same prajna, prajnanam. Esha Prajapatihi, and that Prajapati is the first person, embodied person, who is Virat. Virat is the first embodied person. Hiranyagarbha is the firstborn, but he is subtler, Sukshma. But Prajapati is Virat, first embodied. So that Prajapati is whom what was described, that the Prajapati was created, then all the Lokpalas were created. So that Prajapati is also Prajna, Prajnanam, Prajna, एष प्रजापतिः, ete sarve devaha, and also all the devatas, Agni, then that Varun, then the Dig Devta, all these devatas, Chandrama, all the Aditya, all the devatas who were mentioned as the presiding deities of the senses, those devatas are also Prajna. Now very important and interesting, this Prajna is also expressing through the 5 elements, Pancha Mahabhutani. Same Prajna is expressing through the 5 elements also. Pancha Mahabhutani. What are the 5 bhutas? Prithvi, then Vayuhu, Akashaha, Apaha, Apa means water. Jyotinshi, Jyoti is light or fire. So Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. Iti etani imani cha kshudra mishrani iva bijani itarani cha andajani cha. And all that is high and low beings are also prajna, prajnanam. All the beings, the higher beings, the devtas, all the gandharvas, all the yaksha, kinnara, all other beings from other lokas, all of them are prajna. The prajnanam is there in all. Bijani, itarani cha, andajani. So those which are born from anda, from egg. Then Jarujani, those who are born from the womb. Shvedajani, those beings who are born from moisture. Udbijani, those beings who are born by breaking the earth, like the plants and trees. Ashvaha, Ashva, the horses. Gavaha, Gava means the cows. Purusha, human beings. Hastinaha, the elephants. Yat kinchit idam prani, all, whatever it is, all the beings which we know, we don't know about, all beings, right from a tiny little unicellular being to Brahmaji, all beings. Yat kinchit idam prani jangamam, moving, those pranis which are moving, and those who are stationary, then those who fly, patatri, like the birds. Yacha stavaram, those who are stationary. Sarvam tat prajna netram, all of them are prajna netram. Prajna netram means they are guided by this prajna only. Netra means, one meaning is eyes. Netra also means one who guides, leads, like Neta. Netra. So Prajna Netra means guided by this Prajna. The consciousness, that Prajnanam itself is making all these different beings function. There is no other thing which makes them function. See, at the cosmic level, we say that Ishvara is the one who is guiding everyone. But Ishvara himself has become the Kshetrajna. And from being Kshetrajna, he functions as Kshetrajna. Therefore, he is also called Antaryami. Remaining inside, he controls everyone, guides everyone as the inner being. So Prajna Netram, Prajnane Pratishtitam, and all these beings and all this matter, everything is established in that Prajna only, is supported by that Prajna. Everything is supported by the Prajna. Prajna Netro Lokaha, the entire Lokaha world is guided by Prajna. Prajna Pratisthita, and the Loka is supported by Prajna. So, at the individual level, in the previous mantra it was said that Prajna itself is all our thinking, our imagination, and desires, everything. At the cosmic level also, the same Prajna is there in Brahmaji, in Indra, in Prajapati, in all the 5 elements, in the lower and the higher beings born in 4 different ways, in the cows, elephants, everyone. Everything is guided by this Prajna. It is the entire thing is in Prajna. See again, that Brahma is itself called Ishvara, and Ishvara or Brahma has got this Prakriti, his nature. That Prakriti is supported by Ishvara only. It is not outside Ishvara. Prakriti is not outside Ishvara, is supported by Ishvara. It is his Prakriti. When Bhagavan created this world, he did not bring the material from somewhere else. He himself became the material. He himself is the material. He himself is the Upadan as well as the Nimitta Karan. So, same Ishvara is there as this Prajna. So, Ishvara or Prajna is the support of this entire creation. Prajna Netram, Prajna Pratishtha is the support. And this Prajna we experience as I. We experience as Aham Pratyaya, as I. As Aparoksha, we directly experience this Prajna. We experience it along with the Upadhis in the waking and dream, but without Upadhis we experience it in deep sleep state. So this Prajna, which you and I know what it means, this Prajna, Prajnanam, is Brahma. And there is nothing outside this Prajnanam. There is nothing outside Prajnanam. This Prajnanam is Brahma. Brahma is indicated as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Satyam means that which doesn't undergo any change in its nature. Just as gold. Gold doesn't undergo any change in its nature even when it appears as various ornaments. That's called Satyam. Satyam. Jnanam. Jnanam means of the nature of knowledge. It is that Prajna only which is of the nature of knowledge, which illumines our senses, our mind, the intellect, which makes it function, which makes it seem as though they get the power to know. But that knowledge is the very nature of this Prajna. It is Jnana Swarup. It is also Anantam. Anantam means infinite, because it is the very support of this entire cosmos. It is not limited by anything, not limited by time, space, objects. So it is Anantam. So this Prajna, which is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, this Prajna is Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. Very nice. Very powerful. And to understand this is called Mananam, and to hold on to this understanding is that Nididhyasana. In the this Prajna, when it is looking at and using the Upadhis, see, when we come to know this Prajnanam is Brahma, when we come to know that these are only Upadhis, we come to know the real nature of our own self as Brahma, all the confusion disappears. Confusion disappears. Just as for Ishvara also there is no confusion. Ishvara is also a Jivan Mukta Purush only. There is no confusion in Ishvara. He is looking at this world, but there is no confusion, there is no attachment, there is no bondage. So, as Prajnanam, aware of the body, mind, intellect, and the world, when we come to recognize this Prajnanam is Brahma, that's called being free, Jivan Mukti. But as we focus our attention more and abide in this Prajnanam more and more, then we transcend this body also and gain that full abidance in that Prajna as Brahma. That is called the Videha Mukti, or the supreme state of transcendence. But otherwise also, it is Mukti only when one comes to realize that Prajnanam Brahma. Just as again to go back to the example of the mother of pearl and silver. When I was thinking that mother of pearl is silver, it was a wrong knowledge. I was superimposing the thought of silver on that mother of pearl, on that shell. But when I come to know that shell, this is a shell, then that wrong notion disappears. I might continue looking at it and I might continue seeing it as silver. It looks like silver, but I know it is not silver, it is that shell. Similarly, when I come to recognize this Prajnanam Brahma, I come to know that the world which I am seeing, though it is seen as names and forms and variety and constantly changing, its nature is Brahma. The world is Brahma. World is not Mithya, world is Brahma. And the nature of this self is Brahma. Aham Brahmasmi, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. When I come to realize myself as that Brahma, and when I look at this world with my eyes open, when I look at the world, what I experience is called Sarvatma Bhav. I experience myself as the self of all. That's called Sarvatma Bhav. That is the state of enlightenment when one experiences Sarvatma Bhav. That the self in me is the self in all. Just as Bhagwan Krishna talks in that as a Sarvatma Bhav only, with that I am the self of all. Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutashaya Stitaha. He tells Arjuna that I am the Atma in all beings. That's called Sarvatma Bhav. He is seeing all. Not that he is not seeing. He is seeing all. He is seeing all beings. Not that the world has disappeared. World is there. So the world is seen, but everything is seen as one's own self. That's called Sarvatma Bhav. And when the prarabdha of this body goes away, in the sense finishes, then that prajna no longer connected with the body, then remains as that nirvikar, nirakar, Brahma itself. So this prajnane pratishtitam prajnanetro lokaha prajna pratishtita prajnanam Brahma. So this is a very powerful, most fascinating knowledge. And as I said, we have to, now you have heard Shravanam, you have to understand mananam, and then niridhyasana. Niridhyasana is then the sadhana. Keep on doing niridhyasana till one gains firm abidance in that supreme self. Niridhyasana. Even when one is awake and one is in dream state, one should remain abiding in that prajnanam as Brahma. So this is the sadhana. And now the last mantra. Sa etena prajnena atmana asman lokad utkramya amusmin swarge loke sarvan kaman aptva amrutas samabhavat ityom. Sa etena prajnena, by this prajna, which was indicated in the previous mantra, atmana, which is the supreme self, which is the pure self, which is Brahma. So by this knowledge of this prajna, of that self, asmat lokat, this our Vamadeva also, who realized master, after gaining this knowledge of this prajna, which is also Atma, which is Brahma, asmad lokat utkramya, after the prarabdha of this body ended, transcended this loka of names and forms. And having transcended this loka, amusmin swarge, in that heaven which is the self. Swarga is the self only. He went to the self. Swarga. Swa means self, ga means to go. He attained his own self, and Swarge loke sarvan kaman aptva, and attain the fulfillment of all desires. In Taittiriya Upanishad also it is said that one who realizes the self attains the fulfillment of all desires at the same time. See, now it is very interesting. It is said that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman So Oshnute Sarvan Kamaan Saha. That person who recognizes the self attains the fulfillment of all his kamnas at the same time. What it means is that all the beings, infinite beings who are there, constantly try to fulfill their desires. All of us. After going from here also, you will go here, there, this, that, and try to fulfill. And every fulfillment of desire will give you happiness. Now, just imagine, you just calculate all the little happiness which you got by fulfilling your desire right from your childhood till now. If you collect them, it will be a big stock of happiness. If you collect the happiness gained by all the beings, it will be still bigger. If you collect the happiness of all the beings of the past and who will come in future also, Bhapre, that will be too much. So a realized master experiences the fulfillment of all desires at the same time. Means he experiences infinite bliss. That is the way of saying that he experiences infinite bliss. Infinite bliss. So Sarvan Kaman Aptva, having experienced the fulfillment of all desires, Amrutas Samabhavata, he becomes immortal. of the nature of immortality. Amrutam, Amrutas samabhavata, samabhavata. He becomes of the nature of immortality because he is immortal. Iti Om. Thus concludes this Upanishad, Iti Om. So this is a very fascinating Upanishad, and you have to, just by listening once it will not suffice. Because we are carrying such a bundle of our vasanas and desires that the impression created by this satsang can get wiped out within no time. Because of the pressure of our, it's like little children building castle on the shore. It might appear that oh, bada acha castle bana diya hai. We will stay here, sit here, relax, have a cup of coffee. But before you know, the waves may come and throw it away. So just listening to pravachan is like building castle on the seashore. But mananam is building your own castle in a solid ground, taking good material. Huh? So that you have to do, and that will be very important, because it is very rare to get an opportunity to listen to Upanishads. It is by Bhagwan's grace only it is possible, because it is his, Ishvara has given these Upanishads to us. And without his desire, without his ichha, nobody can do anything. So he has willed that all of us, that I speak on this, and he has willed that you hear it. We will assume that he has willed that you contemplate also. Because he doesn't like to waste his time. So please contemplate on this and meditate, nididhyasan. Then our sadhana is just nididhyasan. Once we have understood prajnanam brahma, then there is only one thing to do, that is nididhyasan. So thus concludes this Upanishad. We will conclude with a prayer. Before that, one announcement. Recently means in this last September, I had taken one camp in Goa on Patanjali Yoga Sutra. The first chapter of Yoga Sutra, it's called Samadhipad. And there are 195 sutras, but in this pada there are only 51 sutras. And these are very, the first chapter itself conveys the very beautiful teaching of Patanjali Rishi, his path shown of meditation and realizing the self. So if we follow this, we will be able to appreciate the Upanishad also well. So this, we are releasing it today. Both the audio as well as videos are there. So Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Again, recently I had an opportunity to go on the national television, and there was this interview, and just questions about everyday life, like who is a Swami and how do I recognize a higher desire, and what is selflessness and what is fear, and all those things, and inner voice and guru and forgiveness and marriage and maya and illusion, modernity, tradition, everything under the sun. The question is asked, and I have briefly replied. So this is a 1 hour program which was there. So this also we have now brought out. So you might like to listen again if you have heard, or you can give it as a gift to others. So this is this. Spirituality in daily life. Next next month we will have a talk on Prashnopanishad. Prashnopanishad is also another Upanishad. So we will study all this Upanishad now. So Prashnopanishad is again another beautiful Upanishad in which some 6 rishis, rishi student, they come to another rishi teacher and they ask their question and learn from that teacher. So that we will see next month. Tomorrow we will celebrate Pujya Gurudev's Jayanti. So morning we will have puja at 7:15 to 8:30. And in the evening at same time we will see Gurudev's video. So you please come. You can inform your friends, relatives also. It is always fascinating to listen to Pujya Gurudev. So we will just sit, relax and listen. Not too relaxed, but with focused attention, we will listen to Pujya Gurudev. Now we will just sit quietly for 5 minutes and conclude. So bring your attention to the present moment. Pay attention to your experiences happening now. The seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, feeling, thinking, whatever experiences you are having, now become aware of those experiences. You are the Prajna who is experiencing through the body, through the mind, through the senses. Your experience seems to be different from mine because of difference in the upadhis. But the one who is experiencing through you, one who is experiencing your upadhis, and one who is experiencing my upadhis is same. That prajna is satyam jnanam anantam. Doesn't undergo any modification and change. Seems to be changing when we look at it through the upadhis. The gold seems to be changing if we look at it as ornament. But gold remains gold with or without ornaments. That prajna is Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. मुच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।